Hey everyone, it's Sarah Jean at the Ontario Hockey League. Hope everyone's doing well and safely enjoying the warm weather. As always, we hope you're all healthy and just want to welcome you to our West Division meetup. This is our third installment of these divisional player virtual gatherings. The first two have been a lot of fun, so thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, we've got a player from each team in the West Division on the call today for just some fun, casual conversation. So on today's call, we've got Cody Morgan of the Flint Firebirds. We have Mitchell Smith of the Saginaw Spirit, Braden Guy from the Sarnia Sting, Rory Kerins representing the Sioux Greyhounds, and lastly, Windsor Spitfires' Tyler Angle. So thank you guys so much for hopping on today's call. Just to start off, we'll do one and kind of chat about how everyone's been doing at home. I know things are hopefully starting to look up now, but we've obviously all been kind of hanging around at home for the last while for the most part. So we'll just go around and see how everyone's been keeping busy, whether that's been picking up a new hobby or a new skill, anything really. So if everyone can just mention something that they're currently watching on Netflix, something they're doing to keep in hockey shape, and another stay-at-home activity that has kept you busy. We'll start with you, Rory.
Yeah, so my gym's starting to open up now, so I've been getting back to the gym and on the ice a bit here and there. So that stance, it's been, getting back to normal, which is a good sign. And just been trying to get into some golf. Haven't really played golf in the past, but being given the opportunity to with my brother and my dad. So I've been practicing my backyard and trying to get better at that. And for Netflix, I started watching The Walking Dead a while back and trying to kind of go back into it, and I'm really enjoying it right now.
It's good. Tyler, you can go next.
Yeah, I've been working out 3 days a week right now. I've been working out with my trainer in his little facility there. I've been skating like 2 days a week. And just right now I started watching Animal Kingdom. I just finished the last season that just came out.
Braden?
For Netflix, mostly Ozark and Sons of Anarchy I started a little while ago. Kind of like Rory said, I got into it and then stopped watching it and kind of picked it back up here. So and in terms of workouts and stuff, my gym just opened up back this week. So started going there, and we've been doing some at-home workouts, which got a little boring towards the end there. But same kind of thing, golf, trying to get out as much as I can and enjoy the nice weather finally.
And Cody?
Yeah, I've been, my gym opened up, so I'm working out there. A couple rinks near me opened up, so I'm trying to get some ice where I can. And then same thing, golf, trying to better my golf game. During the year, we don't get much time to golf at all. So trying to get some rounds in. And then for Netflix, I watched Outer Banks, Ozark, and then Dead to Me was a good one. So
great. Well, Cody, we'll just jump right into it with you. It was a historic record-setting year for the Flint Firebirds. You guys set records in points and wins streaks of 15 straight. So overall, just such an impressive year. What was it like being a part of all that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We had a lot of good players on our team. So, I think we all just tried our best to come together and make something. We didn't really care much about the streak. We just kind of wanted to get better every game. So.
And Mitchell, a phenomenal year for the Spirit as well. West Division champs again, back-to-back 40-win seasons. But it was your first year with the team. What was the best part about this whole season?
My best part about the year was coming in as a rookie and being so welcomed by the older guys and the whole organization. It makes it a lot easier to come into work every day and work super hard for your teammates and your coaches when they're so supportive, and they just want you to get better every day.
Tyler, in 4 years, you've seen a lot with the Windsor Spitfires, including Memorial Cup at home in your rookie season. What's the best part about playing in Windsor?
I just think it's the city. I think the city's pretty nice, and the 4 years that I've been there, we've had pretty tight groups, especially the last 2 years with kind of the younger groups we had, and kind of coming in with a bunch of 2000s, and now there's so many guys my age, and they're just like the relationships you build there, and like just best friends. We have a lot of them on the team, and I just think coming to the rink every day makes it so much easier. Not really. I mean, we're focusing on hockey a lot, but we'll kind of get your mind off things when you're so close with such a close group. So I think that's what makes Windsor so special.
Braden, next year will be your 4th year in Sarnia, so you'll be one of the oldest guys. How do you describe yourself as a leader? What kind of leader do you think you are?
Yeah, I try to kind of do what Mitch said, and when we have younger guys come into the team, I know how hard it can be to move away from home at such a young age, and pretty much come into a new place where you don't know anybody. So I try to be somebody that those young guys can look up to, and be a real vocal guy in the room that has a good presence, and can kind of change the mindset and the attitude in the room whenever that's needed. So
now Rory, it was quite a big jump forward this season in your sophomore year. 59 points in 64 games, up from 23 points last season, and 30 goals, up from 9. Talk about what making that big leap has been like for you.
Yeah, I think every player wants to be better than they were the season before, and as you said, as a young person, a young guy in the league, every summer is kind of crucial. So when you work hard in the summer and you put some good work in and get an opportunity to do well, and you got to take that opportunity and run with it. So yeah, it felt very good to have that season, and then looking to improve.
And you were named the Hounds MVP, and I know Coach John Dean has complimented your confidence in the past, but what does a big jump like that do for your confidence, especially now in your draft year?
Yeah, as a rookie, you kind of lose what you used to be able to do, and then when you're getting older, you in the league, and you're able to do some things that you were able to do in minor hockey. So it just the confidence just getting back to how you used to play, and yeah, obviously in your draft year, it's something you look at and something in the back of your mind.
And speaking of confidence, as questions for Tyler, what has being drafted to Columbus been like for your confidence, and how do you kind of feel like you fit into what they have going on and the team that they're trying to build?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big help. I know from the year before when I was undrafted and then now drafted, there's a big change. And just like I remember from coming in my 16-year-old year, the hardest thing to do is get that confidence. And I think once you have that, you're going to be a really good player in the OHL. And I think just from the draft, that confidence that built up in me helped me a lot. And kind of just going to the camps in Columbus, you learn a lot from those older guys. And those are little things that you can bring back to Windsor. And I think I did a pretty good job with that with the young guys, even like the guys that are around my age. I think just kind of showing them what it's like to be there and how you need to come to the rink every morning, kind of prepare yourself for that.
Are there any like major takeaways that that you got from being at camp with Columbus, or anything that sticks out in your mind the most to maybe improve on?
Yeah, besides the fact that it's a lot harder. We had a pretty hard camp in Columbus, and just it's different, right? You don't usually go to the rink and you're seeing the guys that's skating with you that you watch on TV every night. So that was a big takeaway for me, and just the work ethic, like I said earlier, they put in every day and how much harder it is, and it just shows you how much more you need to work to get to that next level.
This question's for Cody. The I-75 Divide Cup. What's that like? I know you guys still had a game left, I think, before the season ended early, but what's that rivalry like between Flint and Saginaw?
Yeah, it can get pretty heated sometimes. I know Mitch can agree with that. It gets pretty heated, but we got fans driving from Flint. Same thing, Saginaw driving to Flint. It's pretty cool, the support that we get as Flint, and the same as Saginaw gets when they play in Flint. That you're looking up in the stands and you're seeing a bunch of Flint jerseys. You score and it feels like you're at home. So it's a really cool cup to play for, and hopefully we can get them back next year.
Are you in agreement, Mitch? Is that how special is that rivalry, and what makes Flint such a tough matchup?
Flint's definitely got one of the best transition teams in the OHL that we played all year. And with the rivalry, it's more not necessarily like a player versus player or team versus team rivalry. It's more like you're playing for the fans, and the fans have such like a commitment to the teams, and some Saginaw fans are fans of Flint's too, and it's almost like a Michigan State rivalry, and it's really special that if you get to win for your fans.
Tyler, I'll pose the same question to you. Are there any memorable games or moments that stick out when you think of this season's matchups against Flint?
Yeah, I think playing Flint's a lot of fun. Obviously, Cody could say the same thing. He came from Windsor, so any team you get to play against a guy that played with you and kind of was close with you like that. And I also have a bunch of friends from Niagara here that play with Cody, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan going to play in Flint. It's tough. It's hard to get up in that rink, and it's a different feeling. And I mean, playing against them, they were good this year, so they were tough. And even when they came to Windsor, it's the same thing. We knew we were going to be in a battle, and they kind of played a similar way. They're aggressive, and that's kind of what we do in Windsor. We use our speed and stuff like that. But I can't really think of a game that really relates to me that quick. But I think every game was a battle, and I know they beat us by quite a bit a few times, vice versa. But it's always fun playing against them.
Braden, I'll ask you a similar question, different team. What stuck out the most about facing off against Rory and the Greyhounds this season?
Yeah, I think kind of much like the other three teams that are in here, they're obviously a pretty skilled team. I think they're well coached, and I guess the 8-hour drive up to the Sioux definitely doesn't help for anyone, but that kind of goes both ways. So like playing in Flint, it's not an easy building to go into and take a game out of there. We actually had some half decent outings there this year, but they're a very skilled group. A couple draft prospects this year and a couple draft picks mixed in there, so never an easy game playing against the Sioux.
Now, Rory, the race for that final Western Conference playoff spot with Erie was a tough one. It really kind of came down to the wire there. Do you think if the season hadn't ended so early, we may have seen a very different result?
Yeah, I think it could have been really close down to the wire there. It was only 1 point off, and we were on a little roll at the end of the season. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were in that 8th spot. But who knows at this point, and no one's gonna know.
Okay, we'll switch gears a bit. Head over to you, Mitch. You're a local guy, so what's it like getting to play so close to home?
Yeah, I was born in Saginaw, and I've always lived here. And when I think of junior hockey, I think the hardest thing that people go through is moving away from home at such a young age and trying to fight through adversity without having a extremely serious support group with a family. Most guys do build a good relationship with their billets, but it's nothing that compares to your family. And when I can go home every night to my mom that cooks meals and a family that supports you, a friend group that you know forever, a school that you don't have to change from, it's really special, and I'm very fortunate that I get to do that.
You play with some pretty phenomenal players as well. What's it like having guys like Cole Perfetti as teammates?
I get to watch Cole and a bunch of other guys on our team work and practice, and there's not a practice that goes by where it's not like a jaw-dropping moment to where he does something spectacular and you just take a step back and be like, wow, this guy's on my team, and we are very fortunate to have him. I think the group that we have, we were very special because we pushed each other every day. We were competitive and we battled with each other to make everybody better, and I think that's why we were so successful this year.
Staying on the topic of Perfetti and Saginaw, I'll ask you this question, Braden. What made Saginaw so tough this past season?
Yeah, I think since coming into the league as a 16-year-old, it's never been easy to play against Sag. They've always put together a good team, and it seems like they always kind of gel together pretty early in the season. Aside from that, they always work so hard, whether it's for a puck or or to try and win a game, score an extra goal in the last minute. They're always grinding out there. And aside from that, they've got a pretty star-studded lineup, like we were just talking about. Plenty of NHL draft picks and a bunch of NHL prospects coming up. They play fast, they're skilled, and it's not an easy building to play in there in Saginaw. So all that combined doesn't make for any easy games there.
All right, Tyler's questions for you. You were voted the Western Conference's most improved player in the OHL coaches poll. You're sitting atop the Spitfire scoring race, the career high 67 points. I'm going to ask you a question I posed to another player earlier today. What kind of leader do you feel you've been for the Spitfires?
Well, from my first year, it's been pretty easy to kind of get to know the coaches too. We've had Trevor Letowski there since my first year. He started off there as a defensive coach, so he's been there with me the whole time. So I think that's one of the things that helped me the most in the league. But like Braden said earlier, just as an older guy now in the league, just coming into every day, like we were all 16 once too, and we moved away from home. That's probably the hardest thing, get to know new friends at the high school, and obviously that's not easy. And just coming to the rink with the young guys now, they're nervous, trying to help their confidence get up, just like the older guys did for me. So I'm pretty much just thinking of what the older guys did to help me and help my confidence, and I'm trying to do the same thing for them.
All right, Cody, you started your OHL career in Kingston before you were traded to Windsor, ahead of being dealt to Flint. What was that transition like from the East Division to the West Division? What was the biggest adjustment there?
Both divisions are really good, or both conferences are really good, but I just noticed the speed probably would be the most noticeable for me. I thought the speed in the East was still fast, but once you got to the West, you were playing against a lot of really good teams, a lot of really good players. 1 through 8 in my first year could have, anybody could have won any given night. So I think that was probably the most noticeable that I noticed.
And then Windsor to Flint, was there any standout transitional periods there, or any big adjustments that you had to make?
No. I was in Windsor, the same division, same thing. So I just kind of went over and tried to do my thing. So that's all I really tried to do.
All right. And as mentioned earlier, you and Tyler were teammates for a while there. What was it like playing together and having him on your team?
Yeah, Tyler's a really good player, high-end skill. Even playing against him this year, he was always a player to watch. So every time we go into Windsor, they come to Flint, we always got to keep an eye on Tyler. So I think that'd probably be the biggest. He's got high-end speed, high-end skill. So.
And Tyler, switch the question back to you. What was your experience like having Cody as a teammate?
He's a character, that's for sure. I mean, you could always have a little giggle with him in the room. Yeah, every time you look at him or everything he says, there's always something funny that comes out of his mouth. But once I noticed too, like we were pretty close in Windsor, so the battles and practice and stuff were good, and off the ice we had a lot of fun. But once he got to Flint, it was a little different. He was always coming into Windsor to prove our coaches why they shouldn't have traded him or stuff like that. And I know there were a few games. I don't know if there. I think he scored every game against us, and he'd rub it in our faces a bit. So we didn't really like that. But kind of what he said about me, he's a really skilled player, and he proved a lot of people wrong this year. And when he got traded to Flint.
Does that sound about right, Cody? Are you kind of the jokester, and do you like rubbing it in everyone's face?
I mean, I'd like to think I'm a jokester. I don't know. But I like having fun out there. That'd probably be the best way to put it. As far as rubbing it in their faces, anybody that gets traded, it doesn't matter. You always want to put on for the opposing team that you got traded from. So, maybe a bit of rubbing in the face, but it's nothing personal.
Well, obviously you guys play Windsor often. I think you guys started out 0-3 against them in the first half of the season, and then I think you guys ended up tying the season series. What stands out the most about playing the Spitfires, aside from having a former teammate?
Yeah, it's the same thing. They were kind of like us. They had a really deep team. 1 through 4 up front and 1 through 3 in the back. 2 really solid goaltenders. Every time we'd play against them, it was a battle. So they had a really good team this year, and who knows what would have happened in the playoffs. So
Braden, this question's for you. I know you and Cameron Saprika have some history going back a bit, playing together on Team OHL Black, I think, at the OHL Gold Cup. You guys got him now, and tell me about some of the guys you're looking forward to playing with next season.
Yeah, Soupy obviously sort of at the top of that list. Dating back a couple of years, we trained together a little bit and played on the OHL Gold Cup team together. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to our table. Aside from that, obviously Benny Gaudreau. He's an up and coming stud goalie, hopefully for us, and I'm excited to see what he can bring this year. We drafted pretty high. Unfortunately and fortunately at the same time this year. So we took a pretty good player in Max Nemesnikov there. So I'm looking forward to playing with him and seeing what he can bring. And then obviously guys like Ty Voigt and Jacob Pro, Jameson Reese, guys like that obviously offer a high skill level and have a pretty big impact on our team. So it should be exciting and got a lot of redemption to, I guess, fulfill this year.
Yeah, obviously a bit of a tougher season this past season, and like you said, lots of up and comers, lots of new high draft picks. What can we expect? What can we expect from this Sting next season?
Well, we've had obviously some pretty active things going on right now in the off season. Changes with our general manager, getting a new coach, a new assistant coach, and obviously all the draft picks and making some trades early. So I think we have a pretty bitter group right now after underachieving and sort of not reaching any of our goals last year. So we're looking forward to getting back, and hopefully this all this stuff kind of clears up and we get the opportunity to do that as soon as possible. But aside from that, I think we can expect to be a pretty good team, and we're gonna just take it a step at a time.
All right, Rory, this one's for you. A couple of weeks ago, out of all 4 teams that finished outside of a playoff spot this past year, the Sioux Greyhounds were voted the team most poised for a strong campaign in 2021. So they're poised for the strongest season next year. What are your thoughts on that, and what can we expect from you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty accurate poll if you ask me, but yeah, I think we've got a lot of good pieces coming back, right? We only had 2 graduates this year, and we had a pretty young team, but we were pretty deep this year as well, and we played with a lot of the top dogs in the OHL, and so I think sky's the limit next year, and excited to see where it takes us.
Right, and we'll start wrapping it up, but I'm curious, who's the toughest player to play against in the West Division?
I'd have to say Ty Delandria on Flint. I would always match up with him again, and when we played Flint, and he's pretty good at draws, and he's hard to beat in the corners, and he's a strong player, so I would say him.
Nice guy to have on your team, right, Cody?
Yeah, really good guy to have on your team.
Mitchell, I'm going to ask you the same question. Who's the toughest player to play against in the West Division?
I'd have to say Igor Afanaseyev on Tyler's team there in Windsor. He's just big, he's a really big guy, moves really well, and he's not just high-end skill, but he has really good compete too.
Obviously nice to have that level of compete on your side, right, Tyler?
Oh yeah, he's a good player.
All right, well, we always like to end on kind of a lighthearted note, so I'm going to put you guys all on the spot a little bit. I'll start with you, Mitchell. I'm going to ask you if you had to quarantine with any one of your teammates, who would it be and why?
I'd probably say Roberto Mancini, another fellow rookie, and there wasn't a time this year where we weren't hanging out and we weren't laughing. He's probably the most laid-back, funny guy that I've ever been with, and at the same time, he will always have your back in any situation. So me and Berto definitely had a good relationship this year, and I'm excited to see what we can do the next 2-3 years in Saginaw.
All right, Tyler, same thing. Which of your teammates would you quarantine and why?
I'd probably say John-Luc Foodie. He's just the kind of guy that can be goofy at times, but a pretty young guy that's pretty mature and knows how to behave, and he can be messy at times. Obviously, if you look at his hair, it's obviously he's got a crazy do there. But ever since he came to our team, we kind of created a special relationship, and we hang out a lot in Windsor, and he lives right down the road from me, so we're always seeing each other.
Cody?
I'd probably have to say one of our graduates, Jack Phibbs, would probably be my number one guy to quarantine with. You know, we kind of have the same personality, sense of humor. So every time we go in the room, you know, not many people would understand our jokes, but it would click with him and I. So.
All right, Braden?
Yeah, I guess I'd have to take the easy way out and just say my roommate, Jamison Reese. We've lived together since we were both drafted there and signed in my 16-year-old year. So, you know, everything just kind of aligns. Our personalities are pretty similar, although our billets might say we're completely different people. We enjoy the same things, pretty similar interests, and he's a good guy to be around. So I have to say him.
All right, and last but not least, Rory.
I have to say Robert Callisti. Rob's a really, really funny guy. Has a great humor, and we get along very well. But we sat beside each other on the bus in our rookie year, so pretty familiar with him. And he trains hard, so I like to get some tips from him and train with him for quarantine.
It's always a plus.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our West Division meetup. So on behalf of myself and the Ontario Hockey League, I just want to thank each of you guys for taking the time to chat with us today. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. So hope you guys all learned something or just enjoyed the discussion. Take care, all of you, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.